Greatest player all time.
Greatest player.
Greatest player all time. I know it's hard for you too.
It's not hard. No. I would say. I
won't lie. I'm going with LeBron.
I would say LeBron too. And like I said, only because I just think that
when he's done, he'll get his respect.
Yeah, I think he's just been too dominant for too long, and he's so physically we've never seen a guy who's been so physically imposing. You know, that's not a big man.
Yeah.
You know, LeBron is he's too big, strong, and fast for any era. And I think that when you talk about the era of basketball that we were in, and I've got tons of respect for, you know, the old school 80s, 90s. But I think with what sports medicine has done and sports science has done to
evolution and all these things,
it's changed the game. So
you.
For I just think people are being dishonest, and I'm gonna say this on your platform so people will finally understand. Like, it's not that hard to understand the difference in eras, right? So at my heaviest, when I was in Indiana, I was 273.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
273 pounds. Yeah. Roy was 295 pounds.
This is Roy Hibbert.
Roy Hibbert.
Okay.
Roy was anywhere from 295, 285 on a light day, 295 on a heavy day, right?
Yeah.
We had Danny Granger, who played the 3, and he was 245 pounds at the 3. Paul George was 220 at the 2, and whether it was Lance or if we had Lance at the 1, Lance is 230 pounds as a point guard. George Hill, 195. Right? For as great as the Pistons were in the 90s, I'm not taking the Pistons with Isaiah and Lambeer. Those guys were great.
Yeah.
Lambeer was only 245 pounds.
Well, nah, that's fast.
You understand? Like, Rick Mahone was 250.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
On the Knicks with Anthony Mason and Oakley, those guys were super tough. Xavier McDaniel, Mace was 245. Patrick was 235.
Yeah.
Right? So physically, there was a time in the NBA where, like, Memphis, for instance, when Memphis had Zebo and Gasol, you're talking about 275 at the power forward and center. You know, you're talking about you're talking about just bigger, stronger people. So it's not a matter of who's doing what. It's if you're playing shooting guard at 213 pounds, how can you deal with a 270 pound wing?
Thank you said that.
That's all
you said that. And then plus, I'll be trying to tell people, I'm like, you gotta understand, a shooting guard in today's game is like, the way the league's going, it's like 6'7", 6'8". You don't have 7-footers bringing the ball down. I mean, besides like Magic or whatever. You don't have KD or Giannis could bring the ball down court.
Yeah, it would be,
you know?
but we just.
You saw the Nuggets lineup?
Yeah, with
that's where the game's going towards.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes.
And I just think that, you know, we've got to just be honest. Like, sports science and sports medicine has changed the way that players literally, the physical nature of players. And so the reason why the NBA had to change the rules was because it was too easy. I said this a few weeks ago. It was too easy for guys like me to just put my hand out on somebody on the perimeter, and you couldn't get by me. If I could use one hand and keep my hand on your hip, that's why, you know, it wasn't an issue of a matchup issue. You didn't have switching problems. It was once the NBA said no hands out front. So now that opened up and you've got freedom of movement.
Yeah.
So even when I've heard guys say, well, with LeBron back in the day with hand checking, he would have shot 100 free throws. He would have shot just as many free throws as Michael, if not more, because how do you stop somebody who naturally is 250 pounds? Like, LeBron naturally is a 250-pound dude, right? He's had to come down to 250. Most of his career, he's played, you know, 255, 260 plus. You know, and just in raw player ability, I go with LeBron. I got nothing, you know, Michael's the greatest, you know, just the greatest, you know, basketball showman, you know, that we've had. He's the greatest innovator. He's the greatest icon that we've had for the game. And he revolutionized the game when he played it. But I just can't get beyond the science behind, what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And knowing that, like, okay, I know how great you guys were, but Dennis Rodman was 210 pounds, man, playing power forward. I don't think like there was like 210 pounds. I don't know how you guard Zach Randolph. I don't know how you deal with Blake Griffin at 210 pounds. And I get it. Great athlete, whatever. But how do you guard that? How do you stop that? How do you, physically? So that would be my only thing. And I think sometimes we get that confused.